Ahead and work out of our workbooks, and we're working on activity 14, which starts on page 26, and the instructions continue on page 27. If you turn to page 28, that shows you what the finished product will actually look like. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Word drawing tools to essentially make that picture on page 28. So there are a couple of things that you do need to know how to do to be able to create that picture. First off, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and change our layout orientation to landscape, and we are going to add margins to 1 inch all the way around, which is the normal margins. We're going to go back to our Home tab, and in this right section right here, we have some insert options. We can insert a text box, picture, or shapes. For our activity today, we are going to insert a shape, and we have all different kinds of options for shapes. I'm going to start off by creating that snowman that is listed on page 28. And so for that, we're going to use the basic shapes. We're going to go to the circle, and all you do is just click and drag to make the circle. Now, as you can see in your instruction sheet, it does tell you that our bottom circle should be 1.75 inches high and 1.75 inches wide. As you notice, as I'm dragging the circle out, it shows me the width and the height. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it out to 1.75 for both, and I have my bottom circle ready. We're going to go ahead and click on the Format tab up at the top that opened up, and the instructions tell us we need to change it to a 2-point black line border. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this little pencil icon. We're going to go to black, and it creates a black border, as you can see. Now, it does say that we need to have a 2-point black border, which means that we have to change the thickness of that line. And to do that, we're going to go down to the weights, and it opens up all of the different options for weights, or basically the thickness of the line. Now, it says 2-point. We have 1.5 and 2.25. So obviously we don't have the one that we need, so we're going to go click on More Lines, and you will get this dialog box that pops up. This is where you can change your weight to whatever it is that you need it to be, which is 2 points. So we're going to go ahead and click OK, and there is our circle. Now, most of us know that snowmen are not blue, so we need to change that to a white circle. To do that, we're going to go up to this fill bucket up here at the top, and instead of clicking on no fill, I want you to go ahead and choose white, and I will explain that in just a minute. Alright, so the next one that we're going to do is we're going to create our second circle, so it's the middle one, and this one needs to be 1.5 inches high and 1.5 inches wide. So we're going to go to Basic Shapes, Circle, I'm going to drag it out, 1.5 and 1.5. We're going to go back to the format. We still need to have a 2-point black line, so we're going to change it to black, change the weight to 2 points, just like with the original circle. And this time I'm going to go ahead and choose no fill, just so you can see exactly what happens. And if I go ahead and drag this on to my bottom circle, you can see that we have this section right here that is still showing through. The reason for that is that this circle is not really white, it's just transparent. So we need to make it white. You actually need to choose the color white in order to make it transparent and actually sit on top of that bottom circle the way that it's supposed to. If you by any chance have the bottom circle kind of sticking out and covering the top one, what you can do is you can go ahead and go up to the Arrange section. It's under the Format, and make sure that you have the top circle selected and click Bring to Front. So make sure that it puts that on top of the prior circle, on top of the bigger circle. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and create our last circle, which is supposed to be 1.15 inches high and wide. So we're going to go ahead and create that. But as you will see, I can go from 1.13 to 1.25. There's no 1.15. So I'm going to leave it at 1.13, and I'll show you how to change that. We're going to go back to our format, and right here in the right hand side you will see size, and this is where you can actually make a more specific sizing of your object or your circle. So we're going to go ahead and click it to 1.15, change that to the exact specifications. I'm going to go and change our line, our weights, just like we did with the other circles. And we're going to fill it with white. We're going to put it up on top, and there's the basic part of our snowman. One of the last things I want to show you is, and I'm skipping ahead a couple of steps, to the eyes. The eyes have to be 0.15. So they're just circles, and they have to be 0.15. Now you can see that we have 0.13, and even if I go to my format, I can make it 0.15, which is fine. But I can't really do anything. I can't move this over to my snowman at all. So what I need to do is I need to kind of make it a little bit bigger to start off with, then put it onto the snowman, and then I can go ahead and change the size down to what I need it to. When an object is that small, it makes it very difficult to move it around. And according to our instructions, we don't have a line border, so that's why I clicked no line, but it is a black fill. So there is our snowman's eyes. Well, one of his eyes. And the last part that they're going to have you, or a new thing that you're going to learn, is using the scribble tool. The scribble tool is essentially a freehand tool that you're going to be using to create some of the different parts of this picture. And one of those parts is the snowman's nose. To use the scribble tool, you're going to go up to lines and connectors, and it's going to be the very last one right here. If you kind of hover over it, it does say scribble, and you just click and you can draw whatever it is that you want to draw. So I'm going to go back, show you really real quick where that is. Lines and connectors. I'm going to click on the last one where it's scribble, and I'm going to make a carrot for our snowman. And our instructions say the carrot border needs to be black with 1 point. So the line thickness is 1 point. And obviously it should probably be an orange carrot. And then we can go ahead and move it and place it onto the snowman. Now you do need to make sure that you are creating all of your objects kind of in the empty space. Like I wouldn't have been able to create that carrot on his head at that point. So you have to kind of create it out here and then move it onto your snowman. So basically, now you're ready to start on the winter scene activity. Make sure that you are working that you start the instructions at 1 and you go all the way through, and that you add all of the different sizing options that they tell you to.